Okay, Leslie, is this the religion you converted to that validates, justifies the killing of Ken Bigley in the context of other killings, or did you convert to another religion?
I converted to the true Islam, that is a peaceful, loving religion, welcoming to all, regardless of the religion and the background. I mean, I don't know, I'm here as an Irish Muslim, as an Irish person, and I totally disagree with any form of terrorism, and I am here also to say, you know, we Muslims in Ireland, we don't agree with what you're saying. Terrorism, Islam is terrorism.
How can you say that Islam is a religion?
Can I just please? I respect you, then please, if you can show that to me as well.
Yeah, but if you're saying Islam, I need to question what you're saying. You know,
I mean, I feel the reasons behind I don't know, different issues of war and of murders and of different things. It's all to do with the way people believe and the way people are doing different things. And true Islam is peace. True Islam, you have to love each other. It's what we are taught.
For your information, because as a teacher of Sharia, as a teacher of Islamic law, I should say to you, Islam means submission. It does not mean peace. The Messenger Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he fought something in the region of about 27, 29 battles in his life. And indeed, he did take hostages in his life, and he even executed certain people for the crimes that they committed. Islam is a religion of peace, sister, for those people who want to live in peace. For those people who want to occupy our land and they want to bomb us, then obviously we have the right to defend ourselves.
Sean Hoy, you've just come back from a parliamentary committee about Turkey. Do you think that Europe has to draw a line in the sand at some stage and say very simply, if Muslim people want to live here, that's absolutely fine, but our law predominates?
First of all, I don't think Ireland has to apologise to anybody having regard to recent events in the Muslim world. I'm particularly interested in the Turkish application to join the European Union. Turkey is a predominantly Muslim country, and if Turkey joins the European Union, and the Commission has recommended negotiations begin in that regard, the Muslim population of the EU will go from 3% up to 14%. Now, I think there's a battle going on within the Muslim community, as we can see here, between the Islamic fundamentalists and the moderate Muslims. I don't think
Europeans... There's no such thing as a moderate Muslim. Yeah, well, there's a practicing Muslim.
Anjem, hold on a second.
The thing is, if you want to know about Islam, please talk to the Muslims.
You're saying there's no such thing as a...
There's no such thing as a moderate Muslim. You see, this is something which has been invented... This is something which has been invented by the media to say that there are people who are moderate so that they can call other people extremists and fanatics.
Anybody wanting peace with
Let me hear you apologise. So you don't want to apologise for the hundreds of thousands of people killed in Afghanistan?
Ireland does not...
Sorry, gentlemen, I have to ask you both... Hold on, mouth shut for a second. Waleed.
Under their form of government, should be in danger.
No, why would she be in danger?
Hold on.
Because they will be munafiqun.
No,
we know all about it.
I said that
she will be considered munafiqun. She will be considered a hypocrite. She disagrees with you. She doesn't want your
form. That's what you're saying.
Too many people talking. Hold on. There's plenty of time. One at a time, please. One at a time, please.
And can I ask you, please? It's very convenient for you, and I'm very happy for Waleed that you've decided that he was never a Muslim, because if he had been a Muslim and converted, what would your obligation under Islam be?
Our obligation... No, wait a second. No, you see, the whole point is, if you want to talk about Islam, talk to the Muslims. The fact is, if he became Muslim, we'd have an obligation to teach him.
I said if he was a Muslim who converted out of Islam into Christianity.
America or England is at risk of being targeted by the Mujahideen. It's a very important point.
Are we at risk of being targeted? Would you think we should be targeted? Yes, Ireland should be targeted.
Well, I'm not into the sound bites of giving you a yes and no answer. The fact is that the Irish government are together in an alliance with the United States of America. Wait a second, I'm answering the question.
The United
Nations, I'm sorry, but the United Nations Security Council, the United Nations Security Council are run by the British and the Americans and the French and the Russians and people who are non-Muslim. At the present time, no, of course not, because the Constitution is based on...
Can I answer the question? Tom,
I'll just make 3 brief points. I think I'm in an unusual situation, like Waleed, in that I've seen confrontation at first hand here in Ireland, in the Middle East, in Lebanon, and on the border with Muslims. If I could just say the second point, which is a military point, which is very, very important, because we can get away from all of the philosophy and the if you like, claims towards altruism, towards a more utilitarian view. People are characterising the current conflict which is, you know, terrorism is one of its symptoms, as being a religious conflict. It is not a religious conflict. People tried to characterise the conflict in Northern Ireland as being a religious conflict, when the Provisional IRA and the INLA were engaged in operations similar to groups like Tawhid al-Jihad, etc. They weren't doing it for transubstantiation of the communion host or the virgin birth. They were doing it for the reasons that we see the current wave of unrest, for political reasons. And finally, I would say, we have a big challenge. Turkey is looking for membership of the EU. I would say that Turkey is the West's last chance Texaco. It's our opportunity to allow Muslims to be integrated into our way of life. Look at it from a military point of view. We would have a huge military buffer that takes us into the Caucasus region, down to the Black Sea. So you think Turkey is an opportunity? It's an absolute opportunity. And one last thing. We could achieve that democratic process without firing one single shot. We could bring 72 million people into our way of thinking, sharing our philosophy and us respecting them, unlike Iraq, without firing.
So Islam is not just a spiritual belief like Christianity or Judaism or Buddhism. Rather, it has a political aspect, it has a ruling system, an economic system, a foreign policy, a social system. So in this sense, you see, it's a misunderstanding of Islam as a purely spiritual
explain to me one thing, Anjam. Just explain to me one thing. Do you, as a British Muslim...
As a Muslim living in Britain.
Why are you living in Britain? Why don't you live in a Muslim country?
Well, we believe that the whole world is something which belongs to God at the end of the day. If I can answer the question, I appreciate that. The whole of the world belongs to God, and his Sharia should be implemented over the whole of it.
So you think we should...
The Messenger Muhammad said that I have been sent, you see, in order to implement the Sharia upon the earth. And indeed, Allah said in the Quran, He said, I sent the Messenger Muhammad with the deen of Haqq in order for it to be prevalent on the whole of the world.
Explain to me. So you believe that Ireland and Britain and France and Germany, etc., will ultimately or should ultimately be governed by Sharia law?
Of course, yes. You see,
of course. So you're intolerant of me.
No, but it's not intolerance. You see, look, the fact is, if you go to the jungle, you don't live according to the law of the jungle. If you come with something superior, which I believe Islam is superior, then you want to shoot
Okay. What do you do with apostate? What is your religious duty as a Muslim? How does this dictate that you should deal with an apostate?
Well, the apostate are many different types and divisions, and depending on the type of apostasy, the judge of the Sharia court will assess his type of apostasy. He may give him an opportunity to repent, and obviously, if he doesn't repent, it will have certain punishment. But
he doesn't repent. He's a Muslim, he now is a Christian, he's talking about him.
We've already established that he was always Christian, he was never Muslim in the first place. Let's talk about...
Get the chance to finish. First of all, as being a person that lives in Ireland, being a Muslim that lives in Ireland, and I think I'm speaking for the Irish Muslims within Ireland, we don't agree 100%. We don't agree what yourselves are talking about, the terrorism, the acts of violence. We don't agree with what you represent 100%. I didn't interrupt you. I'm sorry. See, this is
Anja, I want to try as much as you can in order to terrorise the enemy. Do all that. And jihad is terrorism.
You can hear each other.
I need to have said that he was never Muslim. It's not for us Muslims to judge anybody.
No, we know, sister, that there are many Christians who present in Lebanon and in Palestine that they used to be Muslims in order to come out and Islam and Muslims.
Oh, you said you knew. Islam is not a religion of peace. There's far too many people talking at once. There are far too many people talking at once. Khalid.
I have to correct the sister, you know, because it's Islamic Sharia law. We don't have our own opinions. All the prophets said we don't have our own opinions. We speak the word coming from God. And Islam is not a religion of peace where women are being raped, Muslims being killed in the streets. It's a religion of war if you want war, peace if you want peace, and terrorism if that's what you want. Then Islam is a comprehensive belief, not a religion. Has an answer for all the problems that mankind faces. Whether the poverty and starvation, whether anything else.
This is really important.
Last word, Liz.
And also, there was a hadith that says it's actually in the Quran. Sorry, not hadith. I'm not very educated on this.
Work away.
If you kill one man, it's like killing the whole of mankind. This is in the Quran, okay? So how killing, regardless to whether they're Muslim, Jewish, Christian, whatever religion.
And in Surah Muhammad chapter 4, it says, cut the neck of the believers until he leaves the Arabian Peninsula.
1% of the world's population will usurp this interpretation of Sharia law. Women will usurp Sharia law because it denigrates.
We have to leave it there. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there. We have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Anjan Chandri.